The world is sitting on a fault line. $318 trillion of global debt on one side and a small, misunderstood metal on the other. This video is about why silver is no longer just an investment, no longer just an industrial input, but the pressure point where a broken financial system, an energy revolution, and geopolitics collide. This is the story of the silver singularity and why what happens next could redefine money, energy, and power itself. By the end of this documentary, you will understand why the global debt crisis mathematically demands currency debasement, why the green energy transition is devouring silver faster than it can be mined, why vaults in the West are emptying while metal flows east, and why the paper price you see on a screen may be the least important number in this entire story. Watch until the end, because the final chapter reveals why this moment is not just about price, but about timing, awareness, and the closing of a historic window. We begin where all monetary stories eventually begin, not with assets, but with debt. The modern financial system is built on a promise that debt can always be rolled forward, serviced tomorrow with growth that never quite arrives today. For decades, this promise held, until it didn't. By the end of 2024, global debt officially crossed $318 trillion. Not millions, not billions, trillions. And what makes this number truly dangerous is not its size, it's its speed. In just the first half of 2025, over $21 trillion of new debt was added. By the third quarter of the year, the number was already racing toward $346 trillion. Debt is no longer growing alongside the economy, it is growing instead of it. The global debt-to-GDP ratio has surged past 328%, meaning the world now owes more than 3 times what it produces in an entire year. At this level, debt stops being a tool and becomes a trap. Each new dollar borrowed generates less and less real growth. Eventually, it generates none at all. This is where fiscal dominance takes over. In a fiscally dominant system, central banks are no longer free to fight inflation. If they raise interest rates high enough to protect the currency, governments collapse under the weight of their own debt servicing costs. So, rates stay low, money gets printed, and purchasing power quietly leaks away. This is the hidden tax of debt. It doesn't arrive with legislation, it arrives through dilution. Silver lives on the other side of that equation. Unlike fiat currency, silver cannot be created with keystrokes. Its supply is finite, geological, and stubbornly slow to grow. When paper claims multiply faster than physical reality, prices don't move immediately. They stretch, they distort, and eventually they snap. One way to visualize this distortion is through what's known as the paper-to-silver ratio. Estimates suggest there are more than 185 paper claims for every single ounce of physical silver above ground. 1 ounce, 185 promises. This imbalance is not theoretical, it is structural. Currency supply is infinite, silver supply is not. And as global debt accelerates toward $346 trillion, that imbalance becomes unstable. History has seen this movie before. In the 1970s, after the gold standard was abandoned and inflation surged, silver rose over 43% during a recession, a time when industrial demand should have collapsed. It didn't matter. Confidence in money was breaking. During the 2008 financial crisis, silver initially fell with everything else, then exploded nearly 400% as quantitative easing flooded the system. Today's environment is not QE, it is something far larger, permanent, structural. Some call it QE infinity. Yet despite this backdrop, silver's price has remained historically suppressed, and nowhere is that suppression clearer than in the gold-to-silver ratio. For most of modern history, it has averaged between 50 and 60 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold. Geologically, silver is only about 17 to 19 times more abundant than gold, but by mid-2025, the ratio had blown out to nearly 100 to 1, an extreme rarely seen outside moments of severe market distortion. This is how silver bull markets begin. Gold moves first, silver lags, and then silver slingshots. But monetary pressure alone does not explain what is happening now. In past cycles, silver had a ceiling. This time, that ceiling is being dismantled by industry. Silver is the most electrically conductive element known to science. There is no substitute that matches its efficiency at scale. And the world has decided, politically, economically, and technologically, to electrify everything. Nowhere is this more visible than in solar energy. For years, analysts claimed that thrifting would save the market, that engineers would simply use less silver per solar panel. That story is now dead. The solar industry is undergoing a fundamental shift from older PERC cell technology to newer N-type technologies like TOPCon and HJT. These cells are more efficient, more powerful, and more silver-intensive. PERC cells used roughly 10 milligrams of silver per watt. TOPCon uses around 13. HJT can require up to 22 milligrams per watt, more than double the old standard. This is not inefficiency, it is physics. Push silver usage lower and efficiency collapses. The thrifting curve has inverted. At the same time, solar installations are exploding. In just the first half of 2025, global solar capacity additions reached 380 gigawatts, a 64% increase year over year. China alone expanded solar capacity by 45% in a single year. More panels, more efficiency, more silver per unit. This creates a double exponential demand curve, volume growth layered on top of higher intensity. Research now confirms that existing silver reserves are insufficient to support a full renewable transition using current technology. At current rates, solar alone could consume the equivalent of global mine supply within decades. And solar is only one pillar.
Electric vehicles are the second. A traditional internal combustion vehicle uses roughly 15 to 28 grams of silver. A battery electric vehicle uses between 25 and 50 grams, and that doesn't include charging infrastructure. Fast chargers, high amperage connectors, grid upgrades, all heavily dependent on silver coatings to manage heat and conductivity. By 2031, electric vehicles are projected to make up nearly 60% of global auto production. Each one quietly increases silver demand gram by gram, multiplied by millions of units. Then comes the invisible demand: artificial intelligence, data centers, and 5G. Global IT power capacity has grown 53-fold since 2000, reaching nearly 50 gigawatts in 2025. Every server, every connector, every high-speed solder joint contains silver. The amounts per device are small, the scale is not. Together, these forces have pushed the silver market into a chronic structural deficit, not a temporary shortage, a permanent one. For 5 consecutive years, demand has exceeded supply. In 2023 alone, the deficit was over 184 million ounces. Projections for 2025 range as high as 149 million ounces. Cumulatively, nearly 800 million ounces have been pulled from above-ground inventories in just 5 years. Which brings us to supply, or more accurately, the lack of it. Unlike oil or agriculture, silver cannot respond quickly to price. Up to 80% of silver production comes as a byproduct of mining other metals like copper, zinc, lead, and gold. That means silver output depends on the economics of entirely different markets. Even if silver prices double, mines cannot simply produce more unless base metal demand rises too. Primary silver mines are rare, aging, and struggling with declining ore grades. Mexico and Peru, 2 of the largest producers, face regulatory uncertainty, labor disruptions, and rising costs. Even when new discoveries are made, the timeline from drill result to production stretches into the 2030s. Recycling helps, but only to a point. Much of silver is consumed in microscopic amounts, scattered across billions of electronic components, economically unrecoverable. Unlike gold, silver is often lost. With demand exceeding supply, the difference must come from inventories, and this is where the system begins to crack. On paper, silver trades in vast quantities on futures exchanges like COMEX, but physical silver exists in 2 categories: eligible and registered. Eligible silver meets purity standards but is privately owned. Registered silver is available for delivery. Registered silver is the lifeblood of the market, and it is disappearing. Throughout 2024 and 2025, registered inventories collapsed by as much as 70% from their peaks. At times, registered silver covered only a tiny fraction of outstanding paper contracts. Billions of ounces promised, a shrinking pool available.
At the same time, China has been pulling metal eastward. Inventories in Shanghai have hit decade lows.
Silver trades at a premium in China compared to London and New York, creating a one-way arbitrage, buy in the West, ship to the East. London vaults have reportedly lost up to 40% of holdings as silver migrates to where it is needed, not where it is priced. Lease rates tell the same story. When silver is abundant, lease costs are near zero. In 2024 and 2025, lease rates spiked repeatedly, signaling acute physical scarcity. Even more alarming is backwardation, a condition where spot prices exceed futures prices. This is the market screaming for metal now, not promises later. In late 2025, silver backwardation surged to levels rarely seen in modern history. For decades, the paper market has suppressed volatility. Spoofing scandals confirmed manipulation. JP Morgan's nearly $1 billion settlement with the U.S. Department of Justice made it official. But paper control only works when physical supply is plentiful. Industrial buyers do not hedge with hope. They cake delivery. As registered inventories approach the zero bound, paper leverage flips from control mechanism to systemic risk. At some point, an exchange will face delivery stress, cash settlement, force majeure, loss of confidence. And when that happens, the price of physical silver will reset, not gradually, but violently, to a level where holders are willing to part with real metal. Layered on top of all this is geopolitics. The BRICS nations are building a parallel financial architecture, one less dependent on the US dollar, more anchored in commodities. Gold leads the conversation, but silver plays a dual role: monetary hedge and strategic industrial input. China and Russia understand this, so do their policies. In late 2025, China adjusted taxes and export rules to keep silver at home. Less metal for the world, more pressure on Western supply chains. Silver is quietly becoming a strategic asset. This is why analysts are now revising targets upward: $65, $100, triple digits. And yet even those numbers may underestimate what happens when paper fails and physics takes over. Adjusted for inflation, silver's 1980 high would exceed $150 today. Technically, the long-term chart shows a 45-year base, a massive coiling pattern waiting for resolution. But this story is not just about price. It's about a moment in time, a moment when debt can no longer be hidden, when energy transitions collide with material reality, when markets discover that efficiency has limits and promises need backing. Silver sits at the intersection of all of it. And history shows that when reality overwhelms illusion, repricing is not polite. It is sudden, it is disruptive, and it rewards those who understood the story before the ending arrived. If this documentary helped you see the system more clearly, if it gave language to something you felt but couldn't quite explain, then you're already ahead of most. Stay curious, stay grounded, and don't underestimate the power of understanding the world before it changes. If you found value here, support the work. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who still believes prices are just numbers on a screen, and leave a comment, because the most important conversations always start before the headlines do. This was the Silver Singularity, and the clock is already ticking. Thanks for watching.